Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me again. You can probably see different background, different car. Mine is in the garage. It's got a bit of a leak and hopefully it'll be sorted very soon. So guess what I did? I pinched the wife's. Yes, I'm just on my way home now. Well, what's been going on? There was a live stream that was done earlier on today around 12 o'clock just after, where there was Nigel, Farage, Sarah Pochin and all the pizzazz going on in Runcorn to do with the upcoming by-election. And I thought I'd nip in there and say hello. Well, there's a few people in there that don't like me very much. There's one in particular. I won't call her out, but she knows who she is. Hello. And it's very interesting how tribal and how much they swarm over this idea of, you know, reform is going to save our bacon. Reform is, you know... And I think a lot of it really is born out of desperation, because people are so pissed off, aren't they, with everything that's been going on in this country over the last 40 or 50 years. They've suddenly got this thing in front of them called reform, and they think that it's going to save them. And if you criticise, it's what choice have we got? You know, do you want another 5 years of Starmer? What about... It's a very worrying scenario that we're all in, isn't it? Now, I want to tell you something very, very bluntly. I'm pissed off with the establishment too. I hate their guts, and I believe that ever since the, well, probably the late 60s to early 70s at least, the decline has very much gone into acceleration that way. And you've got to ask yourself the question, why? Now, ever since I was of voting age, I came from a conservative family. And, you know, I voted Conservative because I thought that was a done thing. I thought that's what you had to do. And I quickly realised and quickly saw that there were big problems within the system. And this whole idea of a British establishment has brainwashed us all into thinking we're left with very little alternatives. For years, we're told, oh, vote Tory or Labour because anything else is a wasted vote. You look at the situation we're in now. I have no choice. I have to vote reform. Well, if you look at Sarah Pochin, she's a former Tory, also a magistrate for a great number of years. Look it up. She left the Tories, became an independent, and then went back to the Tories again to vote on the leader. So she's gone ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, and now she's with reform. So I'd love to know where her loyalties stand. You know, the people of Runcorn and Helsby get all of this thrown at them, the pizzazz, the money, the campaign, and many of them, and I really don't want to take it away from them, will take it on face value and think, oh, she looks good. That's her. But when you look deeper, you think, hang on a minute. Now, reform was sold to me, at least, and many other people, as a centre-right party which would answer to its voters, stick up for the working class, and really go to bat for people that have felt let down and disenfranchised by the establishment. And what really turned it for me was when everything happened with Rupert Lowe. Now, you know in the news today that Rupert Lowe is suing Farage, Zai Yusuf and Lee Anderson, or at least, I stand corrected, a letter of claim will be issued. If you don't retract what you said publicly, then I am going to sue you. And I can't say I blame him. And he, of course, isn't the first one, is he? This has happened before. And if you do the history, many, many times. Now, for people to be capable of damn right low political skullduggery like that, and you're happy with that, then, you know, what am I supposed to say? This is the reason, the lack of integrity and everything else is why I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. But I will throw you a lifeline. Starmer, Badenoch and all those establishment types do need a bop on the nose, figuratively, in the upcoming May 1st elections. And like it or not, the only ones in a position capable of doing that are reform, because they're the ones with the momentum. They're the ones who have the capability to really make that statement, really say, right, we're here. So in the May 1st local elections, perhaps that is what you need to do. Perhaps you do need to vote reform to send that clear message to the establishment. We've had enough. I get it. I understand it. And I can half approve of it. But what I'm looking at is the bigger picture. Parliament is the key. Westminster is the key to all of this. And people need to understand. Farage needs to understand that he can't have it all his own way. He's advertised himself as a right-leaning politician with a right-leaning party, and now he's at the centre ground. It's all designed to hoover up votes, but a lot of the working classes who are really affected by all of this are not centrists. They're centre-right mainly. You know, there's a big sector of us that have been forgotten, and we've been forgotten by Farage, and that, coupled with the aforementioned Rupert Lowe business, has really got my goat. Now, I've said in the local elections, okay, maybe reform should be voted, and I wondered with those reform candidates, once they get elected, if they get elected, they should really think long and hard about who they're willing to stand for and represent. Maybe even think about their own allegiance once they're in. Yeah, you see where I'm going with that one? Well, that leaves Runcorn and Helsby. Now, the big thing at the moment, and you can tell that Reform is being classed as a mainstream party because they are getting a lot more coverage now. If Sarah Pochin is to be elected, then you've got a former Tory in there who, looking into her history, doesn't represent what I would class as working class. Now, I would suggest having a look at the other candidates in that election and really thinking about it. I'm going to be interviewing one of them on Sunday at 8:30 on this channel. First past the post, all right, I hear the argument, but at the end of the day, if everybody came out and voted for one person in their masses, they would get past the post first. You know, first past the post is beatable if the turnout is high enough and everybody voted. The only other option, of course, is I do not consent. And all of you going, oh, this ain't going to work, this ain't going to work. Have a look at the video I leave you in the description and about the judgment from 1703. This is a possibility. But I suppose we've got to be tactical in a certain way, but really, they've got to be told they can't have it all their own way. This one's been a bit of a waffle, a bit of a roadside chat, just getting a few things off my chest. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, have a look at these. I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.